welcome to Supervale Sews. My name's Sarah, thanks for joining me today. You may see that I'm in familiar surroundings. We are dog sitting for my parents this weekend, but I wanted to film this vlog because I knew otherwise the working week would start and I wouldn't have time. I'm also having like a very big hair day today. I don't know what's going on. You can also very clearly see, anyone who's been here for a while, we're coming up to a year since my wedding, there was a bit of a saga 10 days before my wedding where the hairdressers were supposed to cover my roots and instead they dyed my hair black from root to tip. And so then I had to go to another hairdresser who also didn't listen to what I said about the colour of my hair and put in a colour that was too light. It's now grown out enough that you can really clearly see the difference. So that's my natural colour. This is the colour that my hairdresser told me was my natural colour. But I actually did like it in the end, but you can really very clearly see where it's grown out. So there you go. Yes, I don't know why my hair's so big today, but I'm just embracing it because why not? Right, I hope you're all well. Last time I was here, I was talking about my honeymoon plans and I told you some things I was planning, and I also asked for some suggestions of what to make. So I thought I'd update you on some of the things I've made so far, and also some of the decisions that I had made regarding how to use some of my fabrics. So it was really, really helpful to hear different suggestions. I sometimes ended up going for those and other times they sort of guided me towards patterns that I already had, just because I'm trying to not buy patterns if I have something that I could make into that, if you know what I mean. So it really gave me good food for thought and was super, super helpful. So yeah, that's been very good. Now my approach to making my honeymoon wardrobe. So my honeymoon is in a few weeks. We're going to Sicily and the Amalfi Coast. And I think it's going to be quite chill. I think we just want to enjoy ourselves for a bit. But it gives great opportunities for fun wardrobe options. So I really have gone in. I've sewn, I think, quite a bit already. I have a lot of stuff cut out. I have a lot of stuff still to cut out, but I've got a good machine going now. I'm on it. So my approach has been, because I knew work was going to get busy, I'm doing a lot of batch cutting. So I'll have, at the end of the summer holidays, I would spend time cutting out loads of different patterns, putting them into plastic folders, and now I'm just working through sewing them. At my mum and dad's, they have a big dining table, so I've taken the opportunity to bring the last few projects that I need to cut out here, and then hopefully it's just so until we get to going away. I still might not get through everything, but I figure I'm making stuff that I will wear at some point. So if I don't finish anything off, then I'll just do it when I get back. So what have I made so far? Now, first up, I worked on a Gilbert shirt. Now I'm going to talk to you. I've now made 2 Gilbert shirts for the honeymoon. I don't have pictures of these things on because I want to save pictures for when we're in Italy, because why wouldn't you? But I do have pictures of things on the hanger so you can get a bit of an idea, and then you can see the full effect in a month or 2. So yes, the Gilbert shirt is pattern by Helen's Closet, a shirt pattern. There are 2 different views. I've made this shirt loads of times, always in one view. Don't ask me why, I just like that view, which is the tie-up bottom. So it's like a cropped shirt and then it ties up at the waist. I do make a couple of modifications now because normally you have like a facing down the front of the shirt, down the button plackets, and then there's no facing on the little bits that you tie up, which means when you tie it up, you then can see the underside of the fabric, which annoys me. So I've tried a couple of different ways of doing it. The most efficient was the second version of this shirt, where I basically traced out, so I copied the whole bottom of the front bodice piece, including the tie, and then I just had it was a straight line down and then went across to where the hem starts. So basically now it's double-sided, so I cut it in a single piece with the front facing, and then just sewed it, turned it inside out, pressed, and that's given a really good effect. But anyway, my first shirt, I'll pop a picture here, I made in a Fabric Godmother cotton lawn. It's, I think, quite fun. It looks a bit 80s, a bit like, or like a middle-aged man in the Caribbean, but that's okay. And I used these really cute little buttons. I don't know how well you can see them. I think I've got a closer up photo, but they are from the Edit, which is, if you follow Nerissa Pratt, which I presume you all do, The edit is her baby. And she released a selection of fabrics and different haberdashery items, all on this sort of fruity theme quite recently. And the fabric, I thought the prints were really fun, but the colours were colours that don't look great on me. But I just love these buttons. So I bought 2 packs. You can either buy them as individual fruits. You can get like a whole pack of lemons or a whole pack of grapes or whatever, or you can get a mix. I was leaning towards the grapes, but I ended up getting 2 mixed packs because I didn't want to miss out. And they've turned out perfectly on this shirt. So I think that's going to be quite a fun daytime wear. And the other Gilbert shirt that I've made is out of a viscose linen. This is another Fabric Godmother fabric because they take all my money. This is the Linnea. The Linnea viscose lawn with the ivory backing. They also have this print. I think it's on a different base. I think it's like maybe a viscose crepe with a black background. But I really like their viscose linen. I think it feels really sort of luxurious. It feels really good quality. The colours are very vibrant. This one is finished. As I said, I think I finished this one a little bit better. I used Pigeon Wishes buttons and I did the extended placket. It all looks, because it's on the hanger here, it's not going to look its best. But when you see it with a full outfit, hopefully it's going to look great. And another nice sort of daytime look. And I used this really cute, there are these Kylie and the Machine labels, which are this little curvy woman saying all these fun things. So they're my favourite labels that I've bought. I need another pack. So I've used one of those in these, which I think looks very cute. So, I mean, this is an old favourite pattern. I've sewn it loads of times. Loads of people have sewn it. If you're just looking for like something you can throw on over other things on holiday, this is a great pattern for that. So the next thing I sewed was a new to me pattern and a fairly new pattern overall, and that is the True Bias Darla. It doesn't look much on the hanger. It doesn't have hanger appeal, but I'll put a picture of it here so you can see it. I again like this as sort of a daytime look. You can chuck it on. You could have a t-shirt with it or a shirt over the top or a denim jacket in the evening or something. And I just thought it looked like easy and comfy to wear if it's kind of warm. They have a dress view as well. I've done the jumpsuit. It used quite a bit less fabric than it said. So I bought some extra fabric because I looked at the fabric requirements. And then I ended up, I mean, I did crop it a bit. So it comes in 2 lengths. You can make it a short length or full length. And I made it sort of a bit shorter than full length. So it's like a cropped length so that I'm not sort of picking up everything off the streets of Palermo. So that will be why it used a little bit less, but it used quite a bit less. So I had this tip recently from, I think it was from Pippa, and of Sew Pippa. I think it was from Pippa. And she said that she does this 10% thing where she draws out the fabric at a really small scale, and then she draws out all of her pattern pieces at that scale, and then she sort of plays Tetris on it to see what she can get to fit. I do think a lot of patterns overestimate. I tend to, if I'm buying fabric that's a bit expensive, I'll normally go just under because I find you often can. And then if the fabric's cheap, I'll get a bit extra. But I got a lot, I bought an extra length to make the jumpsuit and I didn't need any of the extra length. And I still had a bit of the original length left, which I think was 3.5 meters. And I still had probably almost a meter, yeah, maybe just under a meter of that left. So depends, clever cutting. This is plain fabric, so I didn't have to do any like pattern matching or whatever. So it was an easy one to cut, but I just think that's something to keep in mind. But overall, I think it's nice. The bodice fit, I didn't toile because I hate toiling, so I only do it if I really have to. And I am in a bit of a rush sewing these things up. So I just thought, oh, I'll just go for it. And it fits fine. I think the fit in the bodice is a little bit looser than it should be. The straps were a good length. I didn't have to modify them at all, which I normally do. I normally find straps too long. So that was good. It's a bit flappy under the arms. I feel like I need a little dart out just to get that fit to be better. I think the bodice is supposed to be quite fitted. and then the trousers are super, super voluminous and loose. So it looks almost like a dress when it's on. It also has a zip. Mine does not need a zip. I don't know if it's because it's a little bit big, or because the fabric has like a little, it's not a stretch, but it has a little bit of give in it, but I can just step into it. I don't need to undo the zip at all. So, yeah, you could just replace the back panel with like a shirred panel, and I think that would work nicely too. And you'd probably then get a closer fit on the bodice as well. So that'll be something to consider. It serves the purpose of what I made it for, because to be honest, I am pasty and burn in the sun. So if I'm wearing this in the daytime, which is what I made it for, then I'll have something else, a jacket or a t-shirt or something on anyway, so that I'm not burning. So it serves its purpose, but I think if I made it again, or if I made the dress, I would spend a bit more time working on the bodice. So if you are thinking of making this, I would say just trial the bodice if you're someone who's picky about fit, because I'm not picky about fit, but it bothers me a little bit. The fit around the arms bothers me a bit. The rest of it is fine. I don't mind the bodice being loose, but the like flappy bits, I don't like. Anyway, so that was my one of my new makes. I also have made the Friday Pattern Company Gia Surfsuit, and the best thing about this is I wore it to a spa and it didn't disintegrate in the hot tub. Whoop whoop, that's success. I didn't realise the fear of wearing swimwear you've made yourself until I got to the spa, and I was like, oh God, like, I just had this fear that it was all going to fall apart and I was just going to be like a nudist in the spa. So anyway, the Gia Surfsuit, I picked it as my first swimwear because the construction's pretty simple. It does have a zip, but aside from that, it's not got a built-in like a swim bra or anything like that. And I have to say, the fit, because again, I just was like, I'm just going to make it. The fit was pretty good. There are a couple of weird things about it. So one thing I would say is the support is zilch. So there's not a sort of shelf or anything under, there's not even elastic under the bust. So it doesn't hold up your bust at all. And I use this fabric, like swim fabric from Fabric Godmother. And it's lovely, nice quality and everything. But it just wasn't ready to be holding up the twins. So I ended up wearing like a swim bra, what was it, bikini top underneath, just because then I felt better. And I mean, who knows if the zip would have survived the hot tub if I hadn't done that. I don't know. I'm not going to test it and find out. So yeah, in terms of support, it's not the one. I think even if I put power mesh in, I just don't think the structure's there. And there's one other thing that was weird. So there's actually no elastic in it. So around the legs, it's just binding. You make binding out of the swim fabric. And this fit nicely because I've heard a few things from curvy people that they found that a lot of swimsuit patterns, the leg holes are often too big. And so I was worried about that, but it fit really well. But when I'd been in the water, it then became a bit misshapen around the leg holes. So they became like a bit stretched out almost, which I think elastic would have avoided. So that, again, I'm not planning on making another one of these before I go away. But I think if I do make another one of these in the future, which I probably will, I would work out how to put some elastic into that binding so that it holds its shape a little bit more, just so you're not flashing anybody. Do you know what I mean? Even if you're just flashing a bit at the spa, still not appropriate, really. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with this pattern. I'm going to be honest. I found the instructions pretty clear. It stopped me from feeling so scared about sewing swimwear. So I have my marble head cut out, and I feel now that I could give that a go because I've made this and I wore it and it was fine. I think it's quite nice as well because it's obviously got a bit more coverage. If you do wild swimming, you could, if you used like more technical fabric, I think you could make it really warm, like a little wetsuit vibe. So yeah, I'm actually really pleased with that make, even though it's not perfect. And as I said, support 0, elastic 0, overall fit not bad at all, design super cute. There are lots of things I really like about it, so I think it's worth tweaking. And as I said, I mean, you probably could do some proper swimming in it. I was just swanning around. So I didn't test it in that regard. But I felt very comfortable and contained. And as I said, the fit I thought was really good for my first swimsuit. And it has taken some of the fear away from me. So yes, so that is the last of the brand new patterns that I've already made up. There are 2 other things that I've made for Honeymoon. One is another Cinnamon Daisy Willow dress. Can't help myself. Here's a picture of it. I used another Fabric Godmother exclusive. This is the Flavia Viscose something or other, Lurex Viscose or something. I can't remember what the base is. Tricky fabric. It's very, very slippery slide. It's just a classic viscose, a difficult viscose to work with, I would say. But the effect is gorgeous. Trying to cut it out, because obviously with a print like this, you want it to be planned where things sit. Cutting it out is a bit of a pain because it's so slippery. So it's like you sort of pin it and then it's like little things would shift, but I'm overall pleased with how it's turned out. Now, I was going to make the peony dress, and actually it was when I went to cut it out, I just was like, I can't face cutting this out as a peony dress. And I also thought, when I'm on holiday, peony dress is quite formal. I think even when we're dressing up in the evening, it's going to be like sunny, relaxed, a summer evening vibe rather than sort of a wedding. So I just wanted something that was easier to cut out and sew, so that I didn't have to think so much about the pattern. And so I went for my fave Cinnamon Daisy Willow, because you just have the front piece, the back piece, the sleeves, the skirt, and then the little ties. So it's, in terms of cutting out, I just thought this is going to be easier than trying to match everything on the Fabric Godmother peony. I'm really pleased with it. It's been hanging for a while to let the hem drop. The hem has dropped, and now I'm panicking about cutting it. I don't know if anyone has a really fail-safe technique for doing this. I find on these viscosy fabrics, I find it really hard to cut them straight. Yeah, I don't know how people do it, how they get a neat line. So if you have a magic way, this dress, the Willow, is a bit tricky as well, because it basically, the way you tie up from the side seam to the dart, it means that part of the skirt gathers. So then that, I think, on my dress, those sides are a little bit lower. I don't know. Anyway, I need to do that, but I'm putting it off. But this gives you an idea of that dress. And I think this will be a nice, like, evening out, going for dinner or a cocktail dress. And the most recent thing I've sewn is a pair of Closet Core Carolyn pyjamas. Now, here's a picture of the top. And I've put a little bit of piping in. So the fabric is fabric that Nathan bought me in Trinidad. It's a cotton with this nice little paisley print. And I put some white piping in the pocket and the cuffs on the sleeves, and also on the cuffs on the shorts. So here's a little picture of the shorts. I ran out of fabric. I thought I had plenty, but it was narrower than I had realised. So I just used some plain white cotton to make the pocket bags, which I think looked quite cute. I'm always amazed by this pattern. I've made it a few times. I've made the shorts, I think, once. And then for my wedding, I made some white pyjamas, the full length ones, out of like a stretch velvet, which I loved. This is the first time I've made the full woven set. And I worried that it would feel a bit tight and not comfortable as pyjamas, but it fits so nicely. Honestly, I was surprised at how nicely it fits, but it doesn't feel like restrictive, which I think non-stretchy pyjamas sometimes can. The shorts are super easy, super quick. You can make them with or without the piping. So if you do it without the piping, you don't have to do the hembands if you don't want to. And the same for the sleeves. If you don't want to do piping in the sleeves, you can just do like a normal sleeve. The construction for the shirt, I think, is quite fiddly. And I sometimes wonder if it's the most efficient way. Because I've made other shirts and I always find there's a way they get you to connect the facing to the collar that I just find really complex. And I feel like the finish is nice, but I just feel like there must be a simpler way. I don't know. But yeah, I'm really happy with this set. If you want to make pyjamas, I think you can make a really bougie pair of pyjamas with this pattern. And as I said, I find the fit really nice. It is just a bit more involved, but if I'd taken the piping out, that would have then been a little bit less involved. And there are probably ways to make it a bit easier, but yeah, this is what I chose to do. And I think I have got a really nice little set now. So yeah, so that is what I've sewn up so far. And I have made decisions on most of the fabrics. I'm just going to get them up here so I can see what's what. Yeah, most of the fabric I've made decisions on. A couple of them I've decided are going to be in the backup. So if I get everything else done and I want another dress or whatever, I might come up with something. But if I start with the Ralph Lauren seersucker that I wanted an oversized shirt pattern for, a few of you said the Ocean Days shirt, and it's completely escaped my mind which pattern company that is, but I will put it down below in the box. But that is perfect. It's the perfect shirt. So thank you everyone for all of your suggestions, but for that one specifically, it was exactly what I was looking for. I've got that cut out and ready to sew, and I'm really excited to sew that up. So that was a great suggestion. Regarding the swimwear, I also put a poll up on Instagram. It was quite mixed feedback, but the darker colour won. And so I've cut it out in the darker colour. I think I would prefer a swimsuit in the lighter one. Possibly risky, but maybe not with the right lining. I think because of the scale of the print is a little bit bigger, so I feel like it would look better on a swimsuit. So I think I'll just save that for down the line. And so I've cut out the darker colourway, which I'll pop a picture of here. Now, for my Majolica fabrics, so I have two of them. I asked people to vote on whether I should make a shirt dress or a sundress with the pink one, and the sundress won the day. And so I was looking for patterns. I was wondering about the Sew Over It Sophia dress, which I think is very cute. But because of the back's quite cut out, and I just don't think it's going to give the like that I want. Yeah, I just don't think I was going to get the fit quite that I wanted in that. And so I was umming and ahhing, couldn't decide what to make. And then on a plus size influencer that I follow, they had this dress from Monsoon. I'll put a picture of that dress here, this polka dot dress, and I loved it. And I went and had a look on Monsoon, and I was like going back and forth, and I was like, I can't really justify buying that, but I could make something similar. So initially I ordered, because what I've been aware of with my sewing is for the honeymoon that I've focused on a lot of daytime looks, and I was like, it would be nice to have a couple of nice dresses that I can throw on if we go somewhere dressier, like if we go to the opera, or if we go out to a nice restaurant in the evening or something like that. And so I purchased some copycat fabric, so a black and white polka dot fabric, and I was like, I'm going to use the Upton dress bodice, which is a cashmere pattern, and that pattern is so versatile. Like, I don't know why I didn't consider it before, because it's just, there's so much you can do with it. It's such a good like base for so many things. So I basically ordered this fabric, and I was like, okay, I'm going to make a black and white polka dot dress, and I'm going to wear it with like red lipstick, and it's going to be really cute. And then I thought I could make my Majolica fabric into this dress. So the pink and white Majolica is going to also be a cashmerette Upton bodice. I'm going to make a decision on the skirts. I'm going to look at a few pictures of different dresses. So I'm going to do the square necked darted bodice, sleeveless, and then for the skirt I could do a gathered skirt. I could do a sort of, it said on the website that the skirt was a fit and flare skirt. The cashmerette skirts are not quite, the Upton skirts are not quite right for me on this, but I know you can mix and match a few of their designs. So I want something with lots of volume. So I might do a sort of gathered fit and flare vibe, I don't know, but or a circle. I'm going to play around with it, but that is what I'm thinking. So I'll have a nice fitted bodice and a skirt. I think it's going to be really nice. I'm excited about that. And then I might, with the more traditional Majolica one, I might do the big bow tie sleeves. I might do that with the other one if I have enough fabric. I don't know. But I'm quite excited about those dresses now. And I think I'll have more wear for them. Like I think I could wear them here in the summer or to a wedding or whatever. So I'm excited about those. The red slub viscose fabric is going to be a Mabel dress. I had some really good suggestions for that one as well. A couple of the new Nina Lee ones. I think it was the Holland Park dress, which I love the look of, but it is, I mean, it's not the same, but it's similar enough to the Tilly and the Buttons Mabel that I thought, I've got the Mabel, so I may as well just make the Mabel rather than buying a new pattern. So that's what I've done. I've cut out a Mabel for that one. Yeah, so I think that's most, I'm just looking here. Oh, the fabrics that have been put aside, the embroidered daisies, I would like to make something. I've got a few patterns that would work with, but I don't have that full inspiration. So that is if I get everything else done, I'll make a nice day dress pattern. The gingham, the pink and purple gingham, might be a little cord set, but again, I've put it to the side as a maybe if I finish everything else. It also could be like a daytime willow dress, if I just lifted the back a bit, so I've not got to worry about getting sunburnt. The red and white graded stripe dress, I might make into another bell dress, because I think the waist yoke would be cool with like more concentrated, and then you could play around with the stripes. And then the other Dolce & Gabbana fabric, the silk fabric, is possibly going to be an Estelle top, which is a Paper Cut Patterns cord pattern. I made this before and I loved it, but I didn't get the fit on the top quite right. So I'm going to have a little play around with it this weekend, and this fabric is very precious, so I might make a toile, see if I can get the fit to be a bit better, and then I might make it into like a little wrap top. I have my Winslows cut out, which are blue chambray. I cut those out last night. I have my white broderie anglaise ready to be cut into a white skirt. So I've got a couple of bottoms that I can pair. So I'm sort of thinking I'll then have the skirt and the culottes and the jumpsuit, and I have lots of tops for the day to put over those. So I think that'll be a lot of good daytime combinations. Yeah, I did just go to Fabricland in Kingston, and I went to buy thread, but obviously I bought some fabric. Fabricland is so cheap. I can't stop myself. I've bought a couple of fabrics that could be more evening wear. So they're both stretch fabrics, so they'll travel well. One is red and one is like a bit sparkly. So again, if I don't make them up for this, they'll be nice Christmas projects. But they were very reasonably priced, and I just thought they'd give me options. A couple of evening options, like throw on things that will travel better. So I'm not going to show you those yet because they might not be made into anything, but that is where I'm at. So I'm hoping, I'm a bit more in a routine now that I'm back at work. So I'm hoping that I'll be doing bits of sewing, and then each week I'll be able to do a Friday sews. This is obviously not a Friday sews because I'm filming on Saturday, and I probably will send it out to you on Sunday. But yeah, I'm hoping I'll have some stuff to share each week so I can show you what I've made so far. And then when I come back from my honeymoon, you can see the pictures of it in action. So also, I've searched for some fabric shops. I found one that looks really good in Palermo. So I've already said to Nathan, can we go? And he said, yes, that's great. If you have any recommendations, either in Sicily, we do go around a bit, but we're mainly in Palermo. And then in Italy, we have a couple of nights in Amalfi. We've got quite a long stretch in Sorrento. And we've got a couple of nights here and there in Naples as well. So let me know if you've got any really good tips. But I found my Palermo spot, I think. But if you find something, if you know one, just let me know, because there might be a better one out there. So hopefully I'll have lots to share with you then. And I will have plenty to update you on in the next few weeks as well. Okay, thank you so much for watching. And I will see you soon. All right, take care.